He took all of our sufferings and suffered those things for us. All the curse of the law, all evil of every kind, so now we don't have to suffer those things. So that gives you an idea. That's what it means to be identified with Jesus in the crucifixion. But then after he suffered, he died. And the Bible says that we died with Christ. And we talked a lot about that last night. I'm going to get into that even more tonight. That to be identified with him in his death means that we actually died when he died. And we know that when I say we died when he died, his death was the death of our old man, of our old nature, wasn't it? So we need to understand these things. So look at Hebrews chapter 2 with me now. Chapter 2, and I want to start with verse 14 here. Because this verse is talking about Jesus' death. And if you notice in your notes, I have a title up there at the top of page 8 entitled The Importance of Jesus' Death. I want to show you how important Jesus' death was. I believe when you leave here tonight, you're going to have a greater revelation of how powerful and how important just the death of Christ was. I mean, before we get to where he conquered the devil and all of hell, before we get to where he was resurrected, and before we get to the ascension, just the death, okay? So verse 14 says this, "Inasmuch then as the children have partaken of flesh and blood, he himself likewise shared in the same, that through death he might destroy him who had the power of death, that is the devil." And I tell you what, like I have in my notes, let's read on a few more verses. "And release those who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. For indeed he does not," now in the New King James, verse 16 says, "For indeed he does not give aid to angels." I think in the regular King James, doesn't it say, "For indeed he does not take on the nature of angels"? Uses the word nature, doesn't it? Okay. It says, "does not take on the nature of angels, but does take on the nature of the seed of Abraham." So back to verse 14 again. It says, "Inasmuch then as the children have partaken of flesh and blood, he himself likewise shared in the same, that through death." See, this is why he shared in the same, so he could die. He needed to die. He needed to die. There's a reason for his death. "That through death he might destroy him who had the power of death, that is the devil." Now, let me ask you a little test question here. What does the word identify mean? What's it mean? Yeah, to make identical, to treat, to consider, or treat as the same. To make identical, I believe